hobo cop in charge of the hobos, making sure that no hobos steal trash cans from areas they're not supposed to. Got to make sure those hobos follow the laws. I know that Murazor is here, but I'm not sure if Hobocop is here. So if Hobocop is here, we will likely see a game from him. And if that is the case, it will be a ZVZ, infamously known as a pretty quick game. If people don't die to Zergling aggression, they usually die to Baneling Zergling aggression, and if they don't die to that, they usually die to Roach aggression. If they don't die to that, well, then you just get a lot of roaches and a lot of infestors. It's actually a pretty fun matchup to watch. There's a lot of micro involved, a lot of skill, and especially controlling your Zerglings, controlling your Banelings. It can be really hard early game. Roaches, it's all about the concaves and the upgrades. It's actually a really interesting match to watch, where everything really matters. Every drone matters, because every drone that you have is an economic lead, but it's also one less roach. And that one less roach in a mirror matchup, it just causes so much damage. And obviously, if there are 20 roaches versus 21 roaches, and you guys both get an equally good concave, the 21 roaches will win. So you can see a lot of interesting stuff as people just try and get the smallest edges. Because think about it, in a game of StarCraft, it's not about winning by a lot, it's about winning. So even if you push that small little lead, everything makes a difference. Anyways, I'll stop rambling about my love for mirror matchups. By the way, my favorite mirror matchup is TBT. It's actually probably one of my favorite matchups to watch, as I just love slow tank pushes, but I might be a little bit unique on that. I think we're going to get the next game started pretty soon, but we're just going to try and figure out what else we can do. I'm actually just going to go get just a little bit more water. My throat is getting a little bit sore. Mr. Cuddles did want, or actually I think it was Mac Attack. Mac Attack wanted me to continue to talk as he delayed the game. He must have, maybe he was shy, but he also enjoyed my voice very much. He said, you know what, if these games end too soon, I won't be able to listen to this lovely caster's voice. So, he delayed the game, lagged a little bit, maybe, stuck around until he had 2 drones left, but don't worry. Mr. Cuddles, if you ever want to listen to me, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at feardragon.com/youtube.com/feardragon64. And you can watch my stream at twitch.tv at /feardragon64. And I actually don't have feardragon64.com. That'd be something I should look into getting. I don't imagine feardragon64.com is actually taken. If it is, I'll try feardragon64.org. Maybe I'll just try feardragon. I can mix it up. But anyways, I'm just gonna go maybe get some water, and it's possible that Southern Illinois University might not have another player they can sub in, so this might actually be game. I will investigate this for everyone, though, so sit tight for 1 second. Okay, it does look like Southern Illinois University had a few problems with their players, and couldn't really make it. Some other players must have had some issues trying to get here, and looks like their last player could not show up, and it doesn't seem like they can sub any more players. They don't have any more substitutes to put in, so it looks like Purdue University will win their next game by default, and that puts Purdue at 3-1 in favor of Purdue. So Purdue University did win this game. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will actually be streaming one more game, just a friendly game between Murazor and Endless Waltz, both Purdue players. So if you want to watch that, you can stick around. It is going to be a pretty fun game. They're both pretty solid players. I'm definitely fans of both of them. So stick around if you want to watch that. I will be back in just a bit. Anyways, good job Purdue, and good game Southern Illinois University. You guys did pretty well. Enjoyed your games, and good luck to you guys in the rest of the Collegiate Star League. Alright guys, be right back. Okay guys, we're going to get started with Mirzor versus Endless Waltz. This is going to be a friendly match. This is not about Collegiate Star League. And it is in fact going to be a ZVZ. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We get to watch the ZVZ that we wanted to watch before. So still get to apply and listen to all those lovely things I was talking about the ZVZ and mirror matchups. So this map is going to be MLG Shattered Temple. We are going to have Endless Waltz bearing the red banner and Mirzor bearing the green banner. We have actually seen last week, if you kept up with Purdue StarCraft Collegiate Star League, Mirzor did play, and Endless Waltz was going to play the fourth match if it came to it, but it did end up not coming to that. So we have. If you have been keeping up with the Collegiate Star League, you might not have seen Endless Waltz play, but he is a very solid Zerg player. And so is Mirzor, as we saw last week. So we're going to see Mirzor in the bottom corner. And by corner, I mean not a corner at all. But he's going to be spawning as the green Zerg. And we're going to have Endless Waltz in the top side of Shattered Temple. Shattered Temple is actually a remake of a map called Lost Temple, which originally had this base right here, in this corner over here, but instead of destructible rocks, it was actually just an island. So they decided to change a few things about that. There used to be two Xel'Naga watchtowers, one around here and one around here, but now instead you just have one in the center. Mirzor giving a little bit of smack talk, you know, feeling pretty confident. You can see here in as a mirror matchup, it's really important to pay attention to this. And we can see Mirzor has that one drone lead, and that actually could play a huge role. But it doesn't look like it will. Actually, it looks like Endless Waltz is just gonna get two more drones, maybe bounce that lead back up a little bit more. Spine pool going down around, I believe it's around 12 supply for Mirzor. So. Probably going to see a little bit more of an aggressive build from him. Meanwhile, Endless Waltz did opt to get his gas before the spawning pool. So, going to be trying to go for those speedlings, or potentially even banelings instead. In fact, doesn't look like Endless Waltz has even decided to throw down his spawning pool. So, one might say that is a bit of a risky play, trying to edge out a little bit more economically, maybe a little bit more tech-wise by getting this gas up. But you know, one other thing you have to consider is Mirzor not only has his spawning pool a bit earlier, but he does not have those 3 extra drones mining gas yet. So he was able to manage to get a bit more minerals. So you know, that could play another potential role. I'm not 100% familiar with every ZVZ build, but you know, it looks like they are playing somewhat standard. It doesn't look like they've scouted each other yet. You know, another thing that's really interesting about Zerg versus Zerg is that the Overlords create this aspect of you can see everything that everyone's doing until, you know, you'll get the queen out. As you can see, this queen is about to pop right here and inject its little larva. But the Overlords placed around the map really can't be killed until you end up getting some higher tech units, or unless it's so close to their base that, you know, the queen can kill it. So you constantly see when Zerglings are coming around, and it looks like it is going to be 4 Zerglings versus 4 Zerglings, but Mirzar did get some first hits off, and it looks like, oh, Endless Waltz doing a great job with that little Zergling micro, keeping all of his Zerglings and even keeping them pretty well even on health. Now it's going to be 3 versus 2, and both at higher health than Mirzar's Zerglings, so Mirzar is going to be a little bit on the retreat. So it is going to give Endless Waltz a little bit of a temporary vision superiority. We can see here, Endless Waltz is getting his expansion, so it's going to be a little bit of a risky play, as I was saying before. It does look like they're both mostly just producing Zergling. Mirzar is opting to get a few more drones. I do believe he is leading in the drone count. But, you know, once Endless Waltz's expansion ends up kicking in, he's going to be leading in both larva and potentially in economy. And it looks like Endless Waltz is going in. He is picking up a couple of these Zerglings, but this queen is just doing so much damage to Endless Waltz's Zerglings. And we have a few more reinforcing, but, you know, they decided, you know what, it's not really worth it. We don't really have the numbers to pick off the queen or deal some good damage to this, so Mirzar is starting to take his expansion. It looks like he actually has a Baneling nest down, so he's going to feel pretty safe against any of these Zergling attacks, especially this one. Oh no, but Endless Waltz, if he doesn't see these Banelings, he could be in a lot of trouble. He could lose all of these Zerglings. But it looks like, oh no, Endless Waltz trying to temporarily try and do some of those, pulling off one Zergling to attack the Banelings. But it looks like Endless Waltz is doing a great job with his Zergling micro. Oh my god, really not losing any of these Zerglings, only losing 1 or 2 to these Banelings, and really just not making them very cost efficient. Banelings are great against Zerglings, but only if they're utilized in a cost effective manner where they're killing like 3 or 4 Zerglings. So it looks like the aggression is going to be over. Endless Waltz not feeling too comfortable anymore. Doesn't want to have to micro against those Banelings constantly as the numbers increase. So he's going to back off. You know, he does have his Banelings of his own, does have his own Baneling nest. He actually